Hello, this is the context for the lesson you're about to see. My Year 10s are doing Film Studies AS level, and their Section A on their exam paper is all about producers and audience and film technology, and it's a subject that changes all through the year, so we have to keep up to date with it. The starter you will see is something we've used as a main task in the past, but now we use as a starter because it's vital that the students build up their own case studies and are forever gathering materials for the Section A. The main task that you'll see, invariably we've worked on past papers, but in today's lesson the students have spent time prior to this preparing their own past papers with their own resources. And over the series of lessons that I've been doing during the year, I've had to monitor, I've looked and monitored that they're actually making some progress and understand what they need to do to get level 4, which is an A and B response. The great thing is about using the kind of techniques that you will see today is I've actually noticed an improvement in students by the time they do the Year 10 exams has been markedly different to past years. So I've got really good set of B grades this year already at AS level when prior years kind of C would have been a good grade. Thank you. You know why we need to do that, so reminding you about why we're doing that. You've got to be able to engage with the film industry and comment on the resources that you're going to be given in the exam paper, alright? And we need to see that you're able to use your own case studies. So we're looking at the A-B grade, your MEGs are all B, so we need to get that level 4 response. Blue taps over there. You should have your artefacts ready to go on the learning wall. Today's restriction, you can have more than one post-it note, but you must pose a question, not post a comment. Yes, your engagement with the resources on the learning wall must be questions, not comments.
Oh God.
And step away from the artefacts. There's nothing to see here. There is. Okay, guys, can we look around? I'm going to just pick out some of these post-it notes. I'm going to, again, look for where we've had a lot of discussion generated. Okay, let's have a look over here then. All right, so we've got a poster of Avatar and 30 Days or Night, and we've got how do vampire themes relate to sci-fi? So genre question. Whose is this artefact? Mia?
Well, they both relate through the way that neither film used stars in their posters. So I thought that the use of colour in each one, so the red and the black and the blue, it relates to their individual genre.
So the posters, do you think these posters are designed for the audience to choose something based on genre?
Yeah. So
is that your motivation for choosing this? Yeah. Okay. Carousel rotation, and in terms of numbers, it might be we have to go. Cassie's not here today. I'm probably going to take one of the resources away, but I'll see where you go to first. But we need to make sure all the question papers are covered. I'm not as worried about the resource materials because you can fill those in. So just to recap. I'm going to give you a number and you're going to be rotating according to my instructions around the room. You've got a question that's posed. Don't turn over the page, just literally all your ideas around on the paper, yeah? Don't forget, you know what's on the back. Do not look at the back because that is the significance of how the activity will work to develop your ideas. So if you've got a piece like this, then just literally notes all over there. What is going to be your content? And then the resource materials, just look at the significance of the resource materials. It may well be that you've got the resource materials before the question, in which case you can feed into the question. It may well be that it comes afterwards, in which case you reflect on that. So let's number you up then. Okay, 1.
When we found this,
It was also 3D. It was made to be 3D. Titanic wasn't. So that 3D would have been much better.
So I think it's sometimes dependent on
it's the reviews. I do look at the reviews and I think I'm quite excited for this film, but then they say it didn't do very well in some elements and it's not worth seeing. Just rent it basically when it's a DVD. So I'm just like, I wouldn't go see that. So maybe reviewing and people's opinions more important than genre. Really.
Write that down.
Yeah.
People's opinions.
Okay, I'm counting down. And finish off the bit you're writing.
So it's just a question.
Okay, guys, the things I'm noticing as I'm coming round is on some of the question papers there's not enough range of points. So we're going to have slightly quicker rotations this time. And if you're working on the question paper, can you try and think of something that hasn't been covered yet? If you're working on the resource materials, just try and perhaps put there things that, as well as reading those, interpreting those resource materials, perhaps maybe even add suggestions of other case studies that you could be looking at. Okay, so number one, stand up. I'll remind you of the instructions now. As a team, however you choose to organise it, whether you then choose to allocate individual responsibilities or whether you want to work together to produce one outcome, you now have on the back of your sheet a mark scheme, again authored by the people who wrote it. There's one that's got a generic mark scheme on it because the mark scheme wasn't authored by that group, but it was a good question. You've also got the generic mark scheme for bands 3 and 4. Don't forget we're looking for a level 4 response. And the aim is that you write at least the introduction, which sets out your stall and is commensurate with a level 4 ability. In other words, you are grasping all those things that need to be discussed in this question, and you are aware of everything that needs to be done in your essay. If you finish that intro, then obviously go on and write more and try and bring in some case studies. You've got 10 minutes to do that, and then we're going to judge some of those against the criteria with the people who wrote the question making the judgment. Okay? Off you go.
Which can be catered to their interests.
Catered to people's interests. That is grammatic. I know it sounds odd. We're going to go to one of the smaller groups now. Elizabeth, this is your question, and Megan, this is your question, which was responded to by Grace and Mia. Can you give us some feedback and some way forward, please?
Well, like you just said then, to engage the readers, to have like a statistic and fact that isn't part of the case studies. That's what they did when they started saying like 150 million, and that's like a good kind of number, and it shows they understand what the question's about. And also, rather than using the second kind of paragraph, rather than using one of the case studies again that we gave them, they got the one from the Learning Wall about Monsters Inc. Okay. So it showed that they're able to kind of understand what needs to be in the question and what needs to be answered.
So do you think that Mia and Grace set out an introduction that's potentially a doorway to level 4?
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant, okay. I think from that response, luckily, what we see is the value not just of the Learning Wall, is you guys dipping into resources on a regular basis, yeah, because you're going to come across the need to do that. Okay, very good. Can I just preview next week's lesson? On Thursday, we're going to be doing some prep for another bit of Sweding on Friday. So those of you who haven't Sweded, we're going to be Sweding the Breakfast Club in a very different way, okay? So, if you don't know what Sweding is, ask someone who was here when you were off gallivanting in the South Down. And I have to say, you can take the girl out of Romford Market, but you can't take Romford Market out of the girl.